and Sydney Hendricks.
And it'll be all about kind of accentuating those strengths. The strengths will ultimately be what leads one of these sides to wins and also limiting the mistakes. It's easier said than done. We'll have to see which team kind of manages them both better than the other.
Well, both teams have very productive losses on the season, but it all comes to a head right here. The opening game of the season, and the tip is fought for in a jump ball. And they're going to try this one more time.
Not too often you see this on the tip. Initially looked like it was good, but we'll try one more time, just like you said.
Will be Kenari Holiday under the ball, as well as Sage Glover, and the tip is won by West Georgia in the hands of Grace O'Gara. O'Gara guarded up top by Purifoy. Will try and work against the green and orange for the Rattlers, the white, blue, and red for West Georgia, and a travel called immediately on Kenari Holiday. Holiday, a big force and a big presence for that West Georgia team, but it's called for too many steps right there.
Initially, West Georgia got what they wanted, controlling possession after the tip, but with a travel, that's not the type of turnovers you want to see early on.
Tanaja Purifoy passes over to the corner, gets it back. Now up top to Nadia Griffin. That one's taken away by Micah Anderson. Fast break here for the Wolves. Pushing down, throwing over for the pass, miss. Rebound made by Kenari Holiday. Pass out for three. Zuriyah Davis can't get it to fall. Rebound in the Rattlers' hands. A tough rebound there by Sydney Hendricks. And an offensive foul will turn it over in West Georgia's favor. That foul charged to number 24, Cheyenne McEvans, the reigning SWAC newcomer of the week, and our player to watch today.
And it'll be interesting to see, we talked about the players to watch at the top of the show, which one might have a bigger game, and that could be telling to see who wins when it's all said and done. We'll have to keep an eye on it.
Two conferences clashing here today, the Atlantic Sun and the SWAC conference going at it.
Actually, looks like that previous foul was charged to Sydney Hendricks. A bad screen, it looked like.
Good catch right there, Zach. Now down low, it's Kenari Holiday. Back up top, Grace O'Gara. O'Gara guarded by Purifoy, gets the lane, passes out. Zuriyah Davis in the corner, misses that one badly. Rebound, Kenari Holiday, can't get it on the putback. Now a loose ball on the floor, and that's going to be a jump ball, and the putback point's just not going in the way of West Georgia right now.
West Georgia could easily have 4 or 6 points on the board. They've had some good looks offensively, one of them in transition, but underneath the net, often in the paint, they're just unable to get these baskets to go early on. We're still scoreless in this one.
Indeed. A minute and 30 into the first quarter, and still scoreless. Open lane here for McEvans, and she travels on the way in, and a turnover. It is just a game of turnovers between these two teams.
A game of turnovers, a game of sloppiness, really, you could call it, because on both sides, yeah, they're trading turnovers caused by travels. We're seeing some fouls. Still looking for our first points.
Micah Anderson gets it in the corner, goes inside, and gets the tough lay-in for the first points of this evening.
Micah Anderson was tired of seeing no points on the board.
3 ball for Florida A&M will not go. Rebound putback is good for number 12, Jalea Sharp.
Second chance points right there for FAMU.
Tied up now at 2. Second chance points going to be a lot to talk about here today. Zuriyah Davis goes inside and gets the and one for the Wolves. We'll go to the line for a free throw shot. Zuriyah Davis, who stood tall as the Division II performer for West Georgia, elevates with him to Division I.
And, these West Georgia fans certainly used to seeing her generating opportunities like this. A chance for a three-point play to get West Georgia up by 3.
Was an all-conference selection in the Gulf South Conference, where West Georgia previously resided in the Division II level. Misses the free throw to put it on the 3. Mike Anderson gets it back, but puts up a bad shot, which results in the possession going the way of the Rattlers. Up top, it's Tanaja Purifoy, puts it in the hands now of number 5, Sydney Hendricks, and it is taken away by West Georgia. Another turnover from the Rattlers. O'Gara gives it up to Kenari Holiday. Up top, Zuriyah Davis now guarded by Purifoy. And another foul, this time on the offensive end again for West Georgia. They turned the ball over.
Yeah, it's still, lingering sloppiness, really, I would say, Parker. And these teams are starting to get settled in. We're seeing the points go up on the board now, but still turnovers. And for West Georgia, a chance to extend the lead right there, but unable to.
Only 6 combined points here so far, just under 3 minutes that tick away here in the first quarter. Ball in the hands of Sydney Hendricks, the leading scorer for this Rattlers squad. Gives it up top. It's number 22, Demaya Griffin. Hendricks tries to get it back, and it's stolen again. This time, Destiny Jones disrupts the pass. West Georgia on the other side now. Trying to get it down low to Sydney Jones, and a foul down low on Sydney Hendricks. Or excuse me, a foul on West Georgia. My apologies right there. West Georgia charged with a foul. That would be a turnover.
Yeah, that one going back the other way. Yet another offensive foul in this one. We're checking a lot of boxes of what we're seeing. Not good boxes, though. It's all kind of falling under the category of sloppiness, as I described it.
Most of these fouls, not personal fouls. Looked like a 3-second violation. That was that last call on Destiny Jones in the paint. Now entering the game here is Sabu Gay for the Rattlers. Trying to get it down low right there was Griffin. Trying to get it to Aaliyah Ellis, but she couldn't handle the ball and loses it. Another turnover. Gives the ball back to West Georgia.
9 turnovers between the two teams, but Florida A&M with 3 more than West Georgia.
Something that both teams have struggled, noting in both of their previews that they look to limit the turnovers and get more points on the board today. Zuriyah Davis, shot clock dwindling down, and that is a 3 up top for Becca Ledford, the junior from Blue Ridge, Georgia, laying it down. Ledford with her first points of the evening, a 3-ball to start it off. Amanda Blake now in for the Wolves as well. A 3-ball on the other side for the Rattlers will not go off the hands of Cheyenne McEvans. And a foul on Florida A&M will turn it back over.
This is where West Georgia is still, like I said, we're still kind of seeing the team settle in, but at this point, West Georgia is settling in a bit more. They're going to have a chance to build upon that lead that keeps growing right now.
Sydney Tolbert and Hannah Hicks check in for West Georgia. And Eve Alexander checks in for Florida A&M. O'Gara bounce pass to Ledford. Becca Ledford fresh off that 3-ball in the last possession. Sydney Tolbert now, the shifty point guard on the bench coming up for West Georgia. Gives it up to Grace O'Gara. O'Gara inside, drives in, dishes out. Becca Ledford for 3 in the corner. She's got it.
Pretty obvious who's the hottest out there on the court right now. Becca Ledford. When you're giving her that much space after she's already made one, might as well just put the 3 points on the board at that point.
Now Florida A&M battling to respond. Gay up top, gives it up. Gets it back, this time on the near side, tries to drive in, and a travel called there. Too many steps by Sabu Gay.
And now multiple travels at this point for Florida A&M. We're just in the first quarter in this one. Clearly an area that they need to clean up.
A timeout on the floor.
That's a timeout.
And what a big start for West Georgia. They lead by 8 here on
Sun is the destination.
Why am I West? Because of the support and flexibility I found here to make college work for me.
After serving in the Marines, I earned 2 degrees right here at UWG.
We are back here from the University of West Georgia, starting fast, and Micah Anderson drives down the court as fast as possible. A little bit of bad handling down low, but they managed to slip out of it. Becca Ledford inside, tries to go for the floater off the glass. No good. Rebound made by number 25, Sage Glover. Sabu Gay gives it up. Now Demaya Griffin holding it up top, guarded by Sydney Tolbert. Double team. And a tip away and a steal right there by Hannah Hicks. The senior from Cleveland gathers the steal right there. Now the Wolves in transition. Sydney Tolbert getting inside. Finger roll, gets it to go with the left hand.
West Georgia's pummeling FAMU in shot attempts right now. They're really showing off their much more offense right now.
Florida A&M scoreless in the last 4 minutes of play here. Trying to find anything to scratch back on the boards. Gay gives it up far side. Griffin for three. And an air ball miss. Trying to get saved down low by Alexander. And that is another turnover. Give the ball back to West Georgia.
Yeah, they're already closing in on 10 turnovers. That's their 8th of the game.
Something they have really struggled with these past couple games. Micah Anderson drives inside quickly. Can't get it to go off the glass. No rebound made by Hannah Hicks. And now in transition, the Rattlers go. Gay inside. And a foul called before she can get the basket. I believe this foul charged to Hannah Hicks.
Looked like it was on the floor as well.
On the floor indeed as the inbound goes up top to Sage Glover. She gives it up to Demaya Griffin. Griffin gives it up to Sabu Gay up top. The Rattlers in green and orange trying to get some points on the board. They can't get them there. Rebound made by Gay, gets it back out to Cheyenne McEvans, who travels and turns it over again. The Rattlers can't stop shooting themselves in the foot.
A third travel on offense. The Rattlers, I mean, they really have a lot of areas, but traveling on offense, you want to clean that up.
I believe that's the third time they've been called for a travel so far today on that same baseline dribble move. On the inbound is Hannah Hicks for the Wolves. Gets it to Sydney Tolbert. They move down the court. Micah Anderson gets the pass, not without some disruption there by Cheyenne McEvans. Trying to get it to Sydney Tolbert on that play, but it stays with the Wolves. Good play on the hands by Cheyenne McEvans to try and disrupt that one.
Nearly a transition back the other way if she kept it in bounds.
Micah Anderson off the screen will go inside, dishes it out to Hannah Hicks, who cannot hit the shot. Rebound made by Eve Alexander. Now the Rattlers try to get to work quick. Sage Glover inside, collects the first points in a long time, a long 5 minutes scoreless for Florida A&M. And a reset on the play coming up here. Substitutions coming in for West Georgia. Grace O'Gara and Zuriyah Davis check in for Sydney Tolbert and Becca Ledford.
So with a little over 2 minutes left in this first quarter, the Rattlers finally have more than one bucket on the board. We'll see if they can maybe go on a little bit of a run because of it.
They need it now, down 8 here early in quarter number 1. Kanari Holiday will inbound it for West Georgia, gets it to Grace O'Gara, and they move down. So far, Becca Ledford, the leader in points for West Georgia with 6 after those two three-pointers. Even splits other than that at 2. O'Gara facing some tough defense up top by Florida A&M. That's what they're known for, their steal game. That time a little too aggressive as a foul is called on that Florida A&M defense.
Looks like it'll be charged to Demaya Griffin there.
Just a little too handsy on that play despite the efforts to try and get the steal. Now West Georgia gets back to work on offense. Davis, baseline inside, takes the shot, won't go. Rebound. Who was it off of last? And that will be ball for the Rattlers.
Looked like some good effort there to deflect it off of Kanari Holiday.
And Coach Joanna Wright's entering her 3rd season as West Georgia's head coach, and with her type of stature, a perfect representation of what a team would need to bring in the Division I era. She tries to hold this lead that West Georgia has gotten up here so far. A precious one at that. Gay inside, makes a couple moves, gets the reverse layup to go. What a move there by Sabu Gay, the graduate from Dakar, Senegal. Now the Wolves trying to combat the 4-point run here led by these Rattlers. Inside, Zuriyah Davis can't find the shot, tries to get it Kenari Holiday. A tie up there and a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of West Georgia. It will stay with them.
We're seeing the Rattlers start to settle in a bit better at this point because what did I say after they got their second bucket? Maybe they can go on a little bit of a run. They're showing early indications of that. We'll have to see right here. The defense certainly looking better as well.
And so O'Gara gets it on a long toss from Kenari Holiday on the inbound. O'Gara spins inside, throws up the shot. A foul called as she misses it off the backboard. And another foul on these Rattlers, and now West Georgia will have their first trip to the line for 2 shots. Or excuse me, second trip to the line. And Grace O'Gara, certainly a performance to talk about against Georgia Tech last week. Did an amazing job scoring 15 points, 3 assists, 6 for 10 from the field.
And the thing about that, Parker, is she did that coming off the bench. Certainly going to earn herself some more playing time, even starts in the future perhaps.
She started today, opened up that lineup. Sydney Tolbert among those who also got starts. We take a look at the replay here of the foul as Grace O'Gara makes the second free throw. Now an open lane inside. McEvans can't hit the shot. However, Micah Anderson on the rebound, and a fast break coming here for the Wolves. Zuriyah Davis fakes the shot, crosses over, and is blocked. Cheyenne McEvans with a monster block to turn it back over for the Rattlers. Now she tries to make transition buckets, gets her own rebound, does a couple steps, throws it back up, and a foul called below the basket.
Boy, doing it all right there from one side of the court to the other, showing off the help on defense, picking up the block, then taking it down. Missed the first attempt, got her own rebound, and forces a foul. She'll shoot 2.
First 2 free throws of the game coming from McEvans. Cheyenne McEvans, one to talk about, has averaged almost a double-double, averaging 12 points and 9 rebounds every game so far this year.
Yeah, certainly one of the driving forces of the offense. Remember, she was perfect from 3-point range coming into this game as well. We'll see if she can keep that up.
12 points, 3 rebounds the average for McEvans as a sub comes in here. And Evitz Subarats. Grace O'Gara receives the inbound. West Georgia trying to get to work here. Running into the scorer's table and a steal. Already for Subarats, who just checked into the game, and a travel. Another turnover on a travel called on Sabuge.
Yeah, that's 4 travels on offense for the Rattlers.
Almost a steal there for Gay after the travel play. Tried to get some redemption, but O'Gara handles it in. A triple team might not have been wise. Down low, Kenari Holiday gets the simple one off the glass.
Yeah, I mean, you're on it. Getting past the triple team.
A long shot from half court from Subarats, but that will not go as the first quarter finishes up.
Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Scan to learn more.
Back here from the University of West Georgia, Bridget Gordon leading the charge here for the Florida A&M Rattlers, and certainly a lot of a resume for her coming into this game.
She's a women's basketball legend. She played for the Lady Vols in 2007. She's in part of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame as well as the Tennessee Athletics Hall of Fame.
Certainly a legend in her own right, now entering the coaching field. Spent a couple of years at New Mexico State where she now settles in her second season as the head coach, her first head coaching job for the Florida A&M Rattlers. And a foul, offensive foul called on Florida A&M, make that another turnover to open up the second quarter now, Zach.
Yeah, so, I mean, at least initially, they're not showing early indications of having cleaned up the offensive turnovers, because that was absolutely, I mean, really what has them down on the scoreboard right now, down 8.
Certainly a lot of offensive fouls for both sides coming into this game. Becca Ledford loses the ball for a moment after a swipe made by number 22, Demaya Griffin, with good hands. But it stays with the Wolves.
And the thing for the Rattlers is they haven't been able to generate as much offense as the Wolves either. However, they're just about a couple percentage points off of the shooting percentage compared to the Wolves despite less shots.
Anderson, an aggressive shot. Getting the rebound there and going back up with it to try and put it back in was Destiny Jones. Couldn't do so. Now guarding up top against Gay, who takes it back for the Rattlers. Now inside, Griffin falling under the basket is a West Georgia player. Put back, no good. Foul there on Kanari Holiday.
Some second chance points opportunities right there. Ultimately, it'll still give the Rattlers an opportunity to get north of 10, or at least reach 10 on the scoreboard if they're perfect from the line.
Sydney Tolbert checks in for West Georgia. Taking over for Micah Anderson, who steps off the court for a moment.
Back to my point on the difference in shot attempts here. And with the free throws coming right here, Florida A&M with just 3 for 11 shooting from the field compared to West Georgia, who has nearly 20 shot attempts, as we take one more look at the foul on Kanari Holiday right there from the back. Getting on the shooter, forcing the 2 free throws.
And the 2 free throws made and good by Sydney Hendricks, the leader in scoring so far this season. Not by much, but still the leader for that team so far. And a foul on Florida A&M once again, this time on Yvette Subarats.
Almost double the amount of fouls does the Rattlers have over the Wolves.
Something certainly to look at as Florida A&M still continues to try and settle in and clean stuff up here. They played good defense so far here in this game. Ledford gives it up. Kanari Holiday up top, looking for a guard to give it to. Gives it up to Becca Ledford again. Wolves trying to put the movement here on the offensive side. No basket. And a foul on the offensive side. A legal screen on West Georgia will turn it over. Another foul. Both of these teams have gone for a lot of fouls as Kanari Holiday has to step away. Amanda Blake will check in for her. Yvette Subarats gives it up to Hendricks. Hendricks gives it up to Gay in the corner. Back to Hendricks down low. Guarded close by Amanda Blake. Fadeaway shot, and that is money.
Perfect shot right there. The release on point. A comfortable shot.
Now West Georgia just trying to battle against that half-court defense that Florida A&M has put out there. Becca Ledford gets the ball back. 13 on the shot clock. Jones gives it up. O'Gara inside, looking for the finger roll. Can't get it to go off the glass. Rebound taken in after a little bit of loose ball action there by Griffin. Maya Griffin gives it up. Hendricks inside, gets it out. Eve Alexander for the shot. She's got it from the baseline.
And after following the defensive rebound on the other end, translating it to points, that's an area that the Rattlers are doing really well at right now. They have 15 rebounds compared to 7 for West Georgia.
6-0 run here coming from the Rattlers. West Georgia starting to have some trouble here on the offensive side, and a hard foul there. A lot of contact as Demaya Griffin gets a foul right there. Throws away the headband. And that is a very big foul here in the second quarter. Coming back in, it's number 24, Cheyenne McEvans, checking out after the foul is Demaya Griffin.
Keep an eye on if they try to scheme maybe Becca Ledford open here on the inbound. Remember, she's perfect from beyond the arc this game so far, as well as 2 for 3 from the field.
Becca Ledford, certainly somebody to shoot at, somebody to look at, shooting beyond the arc at a perfect clip so far, 2 for 2 today. Sydney Tolbert now gets it up top to Amanda Blake. Blake trying to find a guard. Can't find a guard. Holding it a little long. Gives it up to Sydney Tolbert. Shot clock winding down. Misses the shot. Doesn't get a rim or a backboard right there, and it's rebounded by Subarats.
Tolbert tried to force the foul right there.
And another travel called on Florida A&M.
Well, if it wasn't going to be an adjustment between the first and second quarter, you better believe they're going to try and clean that up at the halftime break. It is still lingering for the Rattlers.
And all referees are different on their definition of traveling and how many steps it really takes, whether or not there's a gather step or not. And they are blowing the whistle for every single one of them here for Florida A&M. Micah Anderson up top, guarded by McEvans. A long pass to Grace O'Gara near the corner. Gets it down low to Destiny Jones, working hard against Hendricks. Gets it off the glass and good. Destiny Jones getting on the board now for West Georgia. Now working quick is Gay. Can't get the shot. Micah Anderson on the rebound. She likes to work fast in transition. Fishes it out. For three, Zuriyah Davis. And you betcha. Zuriyah Davis with another three for West Georgia. They sit up 7.
Her 5th points of the game right now. 2nd on the team for the Wolves. Just one behind Becca Ledford.
First 3 made for Zuriyah Davis so far today. McEvans up top, guarded now by Zuriyah Davis. Trying to lead the offense to something. Shot clock dwindling down, and another travel on Florida A&M. Yvette Subarats on the receiving end of that travel call.
Yeah, and like you said on the previous travel, I mean, it's hard to believe how many talking points we've had coming off of travels, but that's been one of the big storylines so far in this first half. Right there, that one looked more clear as day, perhaps, compared to the others as well. An easy call for the officials.
Grace O'Gara now with the ball, guarded close up top by Tanaja Purifoy. Good defense here from the Rattlers, but the pass gets away to Zuriyah Davis. West Georgia trying to play slippery with their guard play. O'Gara inside. Can't find the shot, but a foul's called down low. This one going to be charged to number 25, Sage Glover.
West Georgia certainly doing their job on offense, forcing these shooting fouls, getting to the line.
Sage Glover, graduate from Columbus, Ohio, the transfer from Niagara University, is charged with that foul. Grace O'Gara at the line for 2 shots, makes the first one, the transfer from Auburn Montgomery, as we take a look back at the foul. And a lot of contact down low, Zach.
But I should add right here, while I said West Georgia's been doing good getting to the line, the Rattlers are pretty even in that category as well. West Georgia just shot their 5th free throw. Florida A&M is 4 for 4. Perfect.
A jump ball right there after the missed free throw. And that possession arrow is for the Wolves, so they can slip away with a big point opportunity here if they can translate this possession. Checking in now for the Rattlers is Sydney Hendricks. Checking out is Sage Glover, who just committed the foul earlier. Zuriyah Davis in the corner, steps out, gives it up to O'Gara up top. Grace O'Gara back to Zuriyah Davis for 3. She can't hit it. Rebound in the hands of Hendricks. Sydney Hendricks collects another offensive rebound, defensive, excuse me. And that will be an and one down low. Cheyenne McEvans gets big, draws the foul, and gets the basket.
Yep, drawing the foul, an easy foul call right there, committed by Amanda Blake. She'll have a chance to make it worth it right here at the charity stripe.
Checking in for the Wolves now is Hannah Hicks. Checking out is Amanda Blake, both newcomers to this West Georgia team. And after the missed free throw, West Georgia gets to work quick. Inside. And an easy bucket down low for Destiny Jones. A good assist as well by Micah Anderson. And a timeout called on the floor. An 8-point lead for West Georgia. They sit up hard and with high heads as they lead the Florida A&M Rattlers here in quarter number 2.
Thank you for watching WTV's News Brief. I'm Journey Norris. The Carrollton Arts Center is showcasing artist Jennifer Prince with her exhibit Through Present and Peripheral. Her work explores the meaning of life using expressive techniques that invite viewers to interpret the message in their own way. After the game, be sure to check it out. The University System of Georgia set a new record this fall with over 300,000 students enrolled, up 5.9% from last year. All 26 colleges saw growth, with UWG up 12.7% in enrollment. Chancellor Sonny Perdue says this boost strengthens Georgia's workforce and supports more students graduating. Speaking of graduation, the University of West Georgia will celebrate fall graduation in less than a month.
And we are back here from the Coliseum here in Carrollton, Georgia, where it is the first ever meeting between these two teams. And for West Georgia, that's a new home court advantage for them.
Yeah, absolutely. You always got to remember as well, when you have a first meeting like this, it makes that all the more important and really eager for both these sides to try and win the first matchup.
Purifoy gives it up now to Subarats. As Florida A&M has struggled offensively, they try to get back to work. Try to get that three-point shot going as well, and a travel called again on Florida A&M, another travel.
I mean, we're losing count at this point, and it just continues to linger on this Florida A&M team. You think about the amount of travels they've had right now, which have not been in shortage, and you look at the deficit of 8, if they could just clean those up, it could be a different ballgame.
Refs don't play about their travel calls, and that will be a foul down low on a Rattler. And again, West Georgia will be at the receiving end of one of those, and we'll have free throws at the line here. Destiny Jones to take 2 free throws. The freshman has really been showing out for the Wolves. 12 points against Georgia Tech, and leads the team in points scored so far as our player to watch.
Yeah, I mean, player to watch for good reason, but when you're doing that as a freshman, Parker, it makes that all the more noteworthy. She has such a bright future ahead of her in just her freshman year.
Certainly a good thing to look at. West Georgia does like to spread their offense out a lot. Destiny Jones atop the list as West Georgia runs the trap, tries to get the jump ball. They get it, but the possession arrow still falls with the Rattlers. But still a great defensive play by West Georgia to get the trap going.
Yeah, defense is something we haven't necessarily talked about as much in this game, but it's going to be a big talking point, especially as it goes on. One of the kind of highlights for the Rattlers is their defense this year.
A football throw and a Hail Mary taken down by West Georgia. They try to get to work quick now. Hicks, corner, 3 for O'Gara. Can't get it to fall. A good save, however, from Destiny Jones down low. Hicks goes up. Can't get the shot to go. No foul down low. And that will be now in the possession of the Rattlers. Rebound made by Subarats. Now Florida A&M trying to get to work. Eve Alexander for 3. Can't get it to fall off the rim. Rebound made by Destiny Jones. Bounce pass over to O'Gara to escape the trap. Micah Anderson now trying to drive in, passes over to Zuriyah Davis. Davis, who has already got 5 points in this affair so far, with a 3 just before the end of that first quarter. And now the shot clock dwindling down. Got to take a deep 3. She takes it, misses it. Rebound, Hicks. But it's lost on the transition to move up court. Destiny Hendricks trying to move down, gets the fast break bucket. And Florida A&M now sits down 6 as a timeout is called on the floor.
She split the 2 defenders right there, Grace O'Gara and Hannah Hicks, utilizing the spin move to get inside the paint underneath the basket. For 4 from beyond the arc, while West Georgia's 3 for 8, shooting 37%. It's an area that's going to be kind of amplified, more magnified down the stretch. And for Florida A&M, they're going to want to get the 3-point shooting going here. By the way, I mentioned earlier on, if Cheyenne McEvans is able to keep her perfect shooting percentage from the beyond the arc alive, well, we know our answer right now. She is 0 for 1 today in that category, so no.
I sat into that stat right there, but still nothing to hang the head down. Still in that 90% mark for McEvans from beyond the arc. But she's going to be needed here today for the Rattlers if they're going to try and bust back into this lead made by West Georgia. They lead 6. O'Gara up top. Sub destined to come in for the Rattlers, and a mistake there by Micah Anderson looking before receiving the ball. And that will be a turnover for West Georgia. They give it back to the Florida A&M Rattlers.
Florida A&M still has over double the amount of turnovers as West Georgia, but if they can continue to start to clean up some of the areas that they lacked in the first quarter, now in parts of the second quarter right here, that deficit will slowly start to come down.
Chris O'Gara checked out. Checking in is Sydney Tolbert. McEvans gets it down low. Back up top, McEvans, excuse me. Cheyenne McEvans trying to find any type of offense as they have really started to get it going. Free throw line jumper will not go for McEvans. Now transition quickly here for West Georgia. Hicks up top, gets it down low to Jones. Jones working hard, gets the bucket off the left.
And with quick lateral movement right there, able to get it off the backboard.
Great playmaking ability there from Jones, as well as Hannah Hicks up top getting the pass down low. Gay for a jump shot, and that J hits for Florida A&M as they still remain in this one. But West Georgia still sits up 6. Davis with a quick pull of the trigger and will not fall. Rebound again made by Sabu Gay, trying to pass up court. That one was saved right there. Now an open shot down low for Glover. She cannot hit it, but there is a foul on the court on Destiny Jones. She will pick up another foul. Make that her second.
Actually, looks like it's charged to Hannah Hicks there, the shooting foul on the floor.
Right, shooting foul charged to Hannah Hicks. Destiny Jones will check out. Checking in is Amanda Blake. Blake, the senior from Summerville, South Carolina, checks in at the free throw line. Is on the receiving end of that foul as well, Sage Glover.
And one more look at the foul right there. It's Hannah Hicks making contact of it looks like that right arm. Easy call for the official.
And 2 free throws go for Sage Glover. Now the lead only 4 for West Georgia. Florida A&M starting to put together a run. West Georgia's got to put together some offense, though, to try and stretch this lead. Becca Ledford up top. Moving towards the top of the key. Gets it down low. Amanda Blake. Short J just trickles out. And that will be possession for the Rattlers. A big possession turn as they sit within 4.
And a big reason why they're cutting into this lead is they're shooting better from the field in this second quarter. 5 for 10, while West Georgia just 4 for 14. Also much better from the charity stripe.
A minute left to go here in the first half. Halftime approaching here in the Coliseum. Glover at the free throw line drives in. Throws up a tough shot. And that will not go. And a turnover gives the ball back to West Georgia. Sage Glover couldn't get the handle. 45 seconds to go here in the first half. Sydney Tolbert up top. Had an open 3 for a moment, decided to pass it up. And a whistle on the floor. And I believe another 3-second violation from West Georgia will turn the ball over.
So a chance for the Rattlers to redeem themselves after they were trying to really culminate that momentum the last time they had the ball. Gave it up on a low percentage shot down low, but they'll get another chance right here. The deficit still sits at 4.
Destiny Jones checks in. Checking out is Amanda Blake. West Georgia sits up 4. Florida A&M with a chance to try and get this lead to slim before halftime. Inside, open lane, and take it all you want. Demaya Griffin getting inside and getting the bucket.
First points for her today.
Inside 2 now, the lead for West Georgia. 16 seconds to go here in the first half. Davis gets it over. Sydney Tolbert. 3 ball to spread that lead out to 5.
1 attempt, 1 make from beyond the arc for Tolbert.
Long shot there from Gay, almost hits it. But that will be halftime here from the Coliseum. West Georgia brings in a lot of freshman presences, and one of those freshman presences is Destiny Jones.
Yeah, we talked about her during the first half right here. She is making herself such a big key player for the Wolves in just her freshman year. It's so good when you're able to really elevate your skill set as a freshman because you have that bright future ahead of you. Destiny Jones, we'll have to see what more she has in stake here, not just in this game, but beyond in the season and in her future, which is very young. She has a lot of basketball left to be played in her career.
You're right, and a lot of basketball to be played here tonight. West Georgia sits up 5, and a loose ball goes out of bounds, and that will be possession for West Georgia.
Bit of an anxious couple moments right there to see who wins the ball here out of the half court inbound, and now West Georgia will have it down towards the basket.
Could be a representation of how tenacious the Florida A&M squad is going to be after being down by a little bit of a margin in that first half. They sit down 5 as the referees have a chat. This game refereed by Keisha Brown, Whitney Neese, and Jessica Adams, who lead the way in the black, gray, and blue refereeing this game here at West Georgia.
Well, you mentioned the defense for the Florida A&M Rattlers, as we'll continue to have a quick stoppage here. That's something that can kind of be overlooked. While they're still looking for their first win this season, they held Jacksonville University to 58 last time out, just losing by 8.
They certainly know how to keep it close, and they have done so here as they still sit only down 5. Jones down low, passes back up. Inside, Zuriyah Davis gets it to go with the left hand.
And she is looking good here, trying to figure out how she can get going. She's 3 for 10 from the field, but now leads the Wolves team with 7 points.
Sydney Tolbert backing up Zuriyah Davis has had an incredible 1-2 punch right there. Zuriyah Davis finishing it off with a big basket, as she is a threat from beyond and inside the arc, as Florida A&M is not able to convert on that one. They give it back to West Georgia.
It was a 3-point attempt that hit the side of the backboard there on the other end.
Micah Anderson tries to dish it out to O'Gara, and it's taken away by Cheyenne McEvans. McEvans passes it down low, and an immediate travel. And that one will be called easily on Sage Glover. And travels were the name of the game in the first half for Florida A&M.
And so right now I'm not getting the best first impression on it if they were able to clean it up. Sure, it's easier said than done to completely eradicate it, but once again, a travel right there down low with a good opportunity in the paint. And once again, that was one of the more easier calls I saw as well.
And it has to be frustrating from a former player's standpoint for the head coach, Bridget Gordon, to be watching those travels as such a legend. They're hard to coach, but once you get them coached, you got a good team ahead. Zuriyah Davis to O'Gara. Mike Anderson for 3 in the corner. Can't get it to fall, wasn't ready for the rebound, and it's taken in by number 5, Sydney Hendricks. Now Gay does a spin move and gets in with the right hand and gets one to go off the glass. Sabu Gay with another big 2 points off the glass for this Florida A&M Rattlers team. Here's Davis up top, bounce passes to Jones, who tries to bounce pass down low to Amanda Blake. Amanda Blake was not ready for it, and that forces a turnover going back to the other way for the Rattlers.
On the wrong page there with number 14, Amanda Blake. I looked over to Coach Joe off the bench, and she's telling the offense to slow down a little bit. Don't try to do something that's not there.
Saw her on the screen right there. Becca Ledford checks into the game for West Georgia. Ledford, the junior from Blue Ridge. Now in the corner and going back up top to the other side. Using ball movement to their advantage is the Rattlers. Alexander gives it up to Griffin. Griffin down low to Hendricks. Hendricks trying to find the shot. Goes up. Can't get it to fall. Good physical rebound by Destiny Jones. Gives it up to O'Gara. They reset. Ledford fakes the shot. Goes inside. Good pass out to Zuriyah Davis for 3. Cannot get it to fall. Rebound not there. Gay with the rebound. Now Gay trying to go in transition and is stopped right there, and the ball will stay with the Rattlers.
Good help defense there from Amanda Blake to get down there towards the paint, and with her and her 6'2" frame, she's able to make some of those blocks easier than others.
Zuriyah Davis missing another 3 on that last possession. Her 6th missed 3, 1 for 7 here today. And an offensive foul called on Florida A&M that will give the ball back to West Georgia again. Hendricks charged with that foul. That will be her 2nd personal foul.
And 11th personal foul total for Florida A&M. Still 3 more than West Georgia, who has 8.
They commit the first team foul of this second half. Davis in the corner. Pump fakes, gives it up. Blake from the free throw line. Easy money shot right there. High percentage shot from Amanda Blake.
Yeah, high percentage shot to say the least. Easy for her.
Sabu Gay has really lit the spark under that Rattlers team here in the second half. Hendricks now gets a good pass down low to Eve Alexander, who is fouled quickly by Destiny Jones. The freshman picks up another foul, make that her second.
And that was a really good pass there by Hendricks to show off the awareness down low, even when the basket's right above her, looking for other options. She knows she's guarded closely there, gives it off to Alexander, and she gets the foul. She'll shoot 2.
Eve Alexander steps up to the line and makes the first free throw.
One more look at it.
Take a look at the replay.
And it's, like I said, the awareness on display down there on the baseline to look for options when you know you're guarded closely instead of forcing a low percentage shot despite the close proximity to the basket. Finds the open teammate and gets the free throws.
The freshman from Lafayette, Louisiana, Eve Alexander, hits both shots. Now West Georgia trying to work to get back into the game and widen that lead out a little more than they wanted. Long pass to O'Gara from Destiny Jones. Ledford for 3, a legal screen, I believe, but she hits the shot, and that is a foul on Florida A&M. So the shot counts for Becca Ledford, her 9th point of the ball game. A big 3 for West Georgia, and a foul on Florida A&M.
And she is absolutely on fire. She's 3 for 4 from the field, make it now a perfect 3 for 3 from beyond the arc, with a chance to reach 10 points in this one now.
And a chance to get this possession, get some more points on this possession, more than you would on a singular possession, as that foul gives West Georgia the ball back. Bounce pass to Blake, gives it back to Zuriyah Davis. Here's Blake up top, gives it off. Ledford, hot off the 3, goes inside, fakes the shot, and is fouled down low. A little early on the jump there was Cheyenne McEvans, and Ledford was at the receiving end of that foul. It will be an inbound for West Georgia. Another foul for Cheyenne McEvans, or the first foul, excuse me, for her today. And that one's going to be pushed out of bounds and will stay with West Georgia.
It was off the foot of Subarats.
O'Gara to inbound it here for the Wolves. Can't find the pass, has to throw it up. Amanda Blake uses the length and gets it, but travels before she can get the first dribble, and that will be a turnover.
Well, as tough as it was to complete that pass, low percentage, but Blake came down with it. It's almost like she was a bit surprised to come down with it, though, because wasn't able to gather her dribble and gets called for the travel.
Tried to use that length to get on top of every player and come down with a pass. She did, but didn't do the rest, as Destiny Jones will pick up another foul down low. That one was on Destiny Jones, guarding up against Sydney Hendricks, who was down low trying to work. Jones will check out. Checking in is Kanari Holiday.
And on that foul right there was Hendricks showing off the mobility down there on the baseline, working both directions, left shoulder, right shoulder, gets the foul called. We're seeing an influx of fouls really as of late to start the second half.
Third personal foul on Destiny Jones as Sydney Hendricks makes the first shot.
Right here, one more look at it. Like I said, working, spinning to another direction and forcing the foul on Destiny Jones.
Hendricks can't get both shots. Is a loose ball, and we'll see who they say possession is for, and it will be for the Rattlers. And they're going to talk over it again. The referees having another chat, deciding who possession might be. They are acting like it is still Rattlers ball, and it will be Rattlers ball. Cheyenne McEvans will throw it in. Subarats up top, gives it up to Hendricks. Hendricks guarded by Amanda Blake. Now Sabuge inside. Can't get the shot to fall, but picks up a foul on the way in. It will be 2 shots coming up for Sabuge, the graduate from Dakar, Senegal, and the transfer from New Mexico State, following her coach, Bridget Gordon, who resided there before coming to Florida A&M.
And it's a chance for the Rattlers to kind of get 3 points out of one possession, essentially, because Sydney Hendricks on the previous free throws went 1 for 2, and then we saw the ball go out of bounds in favor of FAMU. And now a chance, if she can go per from the line, like I said, it's 3 points essentially on one possession.
First free throw coming from Gay, and it trickles in right off the right side of that basket.
Here's one more look at the latest shooting foul, guarded by Zuriyah Davis, and gets the call down low. One more free throw away from cashing in. Those 3 points I said were on the line.
Sabu Gay, the 5'9" graduate, misses the second shot, and it's rebounded by Grace O'Gara. West Georgia working quick here on offense in transition. Nari Holiday up top trying to find a guard, and she is fouled up there by Eve Alexander. And Eve Alexander picks up her second personal foul.
I mean, yeah, it really is no shortage of aggressive defense, if you will. We talked about it a little bit earlier, alluded to it rather, and we're seeing, as a result, some on-ball dribbling fouls that stay on the floor.
Zuriyah Davis checks out. Sydney Tolbert checks in for West Georgia. Only substitution on that one. Now West Georgia trying to get to work. Deep three here from Sydney Tolbert. Can't get it to fall. Rebound made by the lengthy arms of Sabu Gay. Subarats gives it up to Gay. Now over to Hendricks. Hendricks down low, guarding up against Amanda Blake. Puts it over her and makes the shot off the backboard. Ninth point of the day for Hendricks, a team leading total. Grace O'Gara now with the Wolves trying to keep this lead in hand. 4-point lead. That one's lost and taken away by the Rattlers. Amanda Blake lost the handle. And now Florida A&M with a chance to score and make this one a one-possession ball game. McEvans down low. Hendricks guarded by Blake again. Fakes the shot and will not get the pass away to a teammate. As again, Florida A&M is on the receiving end of a turnover. And West Georgia will hold the ball as we go into a timeout. Third quarter here, West Georgia sits up 4.
Is a great night. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Scan to learn more.
And we are back here from the University of West Georgia, where today marks the first West Georgia home game as a women's basketball team at home in the Coliseum. First time ever as Division I.
Yep, and they're using the red out promotion to help get fans out as well. That's why you see a lot of red chickled throughout the crowd. A good crowd, just like we saw yesterday for the men's game as well.
Well, everybody's here to see the history that is West Georgia moving up to the Division I level. And Grace O'Gara picks up a foul down low and will go to the line to shoot 2 shots quickly after the timeout. O'Gara, the transfer from Auburn Montgomery, makes the first shot.
Coming off her really outbreaking game against Georgia Tech with that 15 points off the bench, getting the start here today and making the most at the free throw line right there.
Well, was one of the best scorers in the Gulf South Conference back when West Georgia played against her when they were at the Division II level. She wants to move up to Division I, transfers to the Wolves for that. A tie-up right there and a jump ball, but the possession arrow will stay in favor of Florida A&M. 6-point lead for the Wolves as Grace O'Gara did knock down both of those shots. And now checking in here is Jalea Sharp, checking in for Eve Alexander. Gay downside, Sabu Gay. And another jump ball. This time the possession arrow is in favor of the Wolves, and they will get it.
And who was it forcing both those jump balls? It was Kanari Holiday down low in the paint.
That one slapped out of bounds by Subarats, but will stay in possession of the Wolves. Kanari Holiday, like you said, a big player for this West Georgia team, and certainly a physical one at that. One of the most physical players you'll see on the court. Dishes out, Becca Ledford, Kanari Holiday up top, gives it up, Sydney Tolbert, baseline, gets around the defenders, passes up, Becca Ledford for three, cannot hit the shot. Rebound goes to Hendricks. Good defensive rebound by Florida A&M. They try to charge up the court now. Hendricks gives it up in the corner. McEvans, Cheyenne McEvans, working against a mismatch now, a little bit closer, but she stepped out of bounds, and that will be a turnover.
And once again, in the presence of Kenari Holiday down there working, whether it's the baseline or just staying put in the paint, essentially able to force another turnover right there with her presence.
Kenari Holiday last season had 8 boards in each game she played in. Also was the NCAA Division II statistical champion in field goal percentage. Trying to get it on a looping pass to Holiday. Physical, going back up, getting the shot to go, and one.
Well, let's just keep mentioning Kenari Holiday's name. Why not? Because she's doing it on both sides. Defensively, forcing turnovers, forcing tie-ups. And here on offense, it started when she got leverage down low. And, you know, when she's getting the pass like that, even if it might seem low percentage, she just has the leverage. She has the physicality, as we mentioned, to fight and get the ball and now try for a three-point play.
Kenari Holiday now with 5 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. As that one's disrupted right there off the inbound, and full court press defense here from West Georgia.
So a bit of an interesting adjustment here, but I like it from West Georgia, showing off the full court press and the aggressiveness on defense.
Florida A&M forced to adjust. We look back to that aggressive play to go back up and get the shot and the foul. Kenari Holiday, she hits the free throw as well, completes the and one, but now a foul on her on the other end, this time on her. A personal foul.
You mentioned the influx of three throws here and shooting fouls we're seeing in just this third quarter alone. We're seeing 6, now soon to be 8 attempts from Florida A&M. West Georgia has just 3. They're perfect from it, though, in this third quarter.
Grace O'Gara was the one who actually picked up that foul down low, a personal foul, the first for Grace O'Gara in this ball game. At the line is Gay as she hits both shots and blows a kiss to the West Georgia crowd. Thriving off energy, these Florida A&M Rattlers are doing here at the Coliseum at the University of West Georgia. One team will walk away from this game with a win. Sydney Tolbert with an open lane, goes down, loses the ball in the process, but that will be off a defender of Florida A&M, off of that number 24, Cheyenne McEvans, and will stay with the Wolves. Micah Anderson will check in now for West Georgia. Coming out is Grace O'Gara. 6 rebounds today for Sabu Gay, who stands out with 9 points as well. Tied for the lead in that category for the Rattlers, as that will be a foul quickly on Florida A&M. A blocking foul charged to Jaliyah Sharp, excuse me. Now Aaliyah Lewis checks in, number 44 for the Rattlers. Making the first free throw after the trip to the line, Becca Ledford, who did a pretty good job selling it there.
Yeah, that's what we didn't see from our vantage point either right there. Gets the free throws, and she now, with her second make right there, is the first player on either side to break 10 points with her 11th point.
Certainly a day to look at for Becca Ledford. She's had an incredible day scoring for West Georgia. Her shot choosing ability is certainly something to look at. Down low, and a travel. Boy, I wish we could count how many travels have gone against this Florida A&M team. It's got to be in the double digits now.
Yeah, and it's noticeably, I guess, better in the second half, but they're still traveling much more than the Wolves are, and even the second half alone, it just isn't as much as we saw in the first half, but you just want to eradicate those travels.
9-point lead for West Georgia. Ledford working hard against Sabu Gay, gives it up. Now Sydney Tolbert, the backup point guard, gets it down low to Kenari Holiday. Fadeaway jumper! And that was a beauty from Kenari Holiday.
Yeah, she's in the zone right now, whether it's defense or offense, doing everything right.
Kenari Holiday, the junior from Apopka, Florida. And that one will be a foul down low on West Georgia. Going to the line for 2 shots will be Sydney Hendricks. foul on Hannah Hicks, her 4th foul, first player in foul trouble for the Wolves. She will come out, and Amanda Blake will check in her place. 11-point lead now for West Georgia. Just over a minute and a half to go here in the 3rd quarter. Certainly a low-scoring affair, but not one to dim your eye at. It is a combination of spreading how the ball is shot for both teams as Hendricks crosses that double-digit threshold with 10 points. Gets the rebound after the miss. Hendricks goes back up, can't hit the shot. Good physical rebound, losing it, however, and Kanari Holiday gains a steal.
Who else would it be down there?
So physical, Kanari Holiday, but a travel on West Georgia will turn it over. They get called for too many steps. Micah Anderson on the receiving end of that travel.
West Georgia's got this lead swelled back up to 10, but Florida A&M doing their job, staying on the outskirts of contention. When you have it down at 10 or less than 10, the deficit, you're always still in it.
One run could do it all here for Florida A&M. Trying to go inside and stay physical is Aaliyah Ellis, but she is stopped right there. Gay goes inside. Sabu Gay finishes with the right hand.
Beautiful deception there, faking the pass outside and getting inside for 2.
Becca Ledford gets it on the pass out from Tolbert. West Georgia's offense resets and tries to get to work. Tolbert driving inside. Can't find the target. Hands up by Gay. Stops the pass, but it's still taken in by West Georgia. And Micah Anderson travels on a 2nd straight possession.
Well, as soon as we talk about the continued struggles for FAMU traveling it now in the 2nd half, West Georgia has 2 consecutive travels on offense. Turnovers they do not need.
4th turnover of the day for Micah Anderson as she checks out and Zuriyah Davis checks back in. Sabu Gay leads this squad in points here so far with 11. Hendricks has 10 as she almost loses the handle and picks it back up. Looking for an inside shot. Holiday is there playing smothering defense, and it's called for a foul.
Well, what looked like a low percentage shot does get the foul call. Holiday does not like it. Some of these fans don't as well. Tough to tell from here, though.
3rd personal foul on Kanari Holiday. The junior transferred after her freshman year at Berry and then went to West Georgia, lit it up at the Division II level, now sits at the Division I level. And the first free throw is made by Sydney Hendricks, number 5, the sophomore from Farmington Hills, Missouri. And she misses the 2nd shot, and it's rebounded quickly. And that will be possession for West Georgia, a foul on Florida A&M. Cheyenne McEvans charged with that foul, her 2nd personal.
And we saw there, back on the other end, the 19th free throws of the day for Florida A&M. That's about 5 more than the West Georgia Wolves have. And Florida A&M's 14 for 19 as well. It's going to be interesting to see if they could boost their free throw shooting percentage. Coming in, they were just above 60% total on the season, something they do want to improve at.
Well, the Wolves get a crack at the line with Kanari Holiday. She sinks the first shot, puts the Wolves up by 8. Like I said before, Holiday really lit it up at the Division II level. Statistical champion in field goal percentage in that 23-24 season. She hits the 2nd shot, Wolves up 9.
Yep, showing why she was the statistical champion back at the D2 level. She'll check out of the game now, but really had a good stint there with her time on the court most recently.
Shows how much depth that West Georgia team has. Hannah Hicks now checks into the game for the aforementioned Kanari Holiday. Sabu Gay with a pull-up jumper, and that's a beauty. 7-point lead for West Georgia. Going for the half-court shot is Sydney Tolbert. That is a long miss. A 7-point lead ending the 3rd quarter in style is Florida A&M.
Unforgettable. Together, we are the pack. Go West and go Wolves.
Welcome to the Atlantic Sun, where heart-pounding moments are born and where champions rise above, where speed defies limits and precision finds its mark, where millions of fans nationwide cheer for excellence, determination, and fairness. Where public, private, and faith-based schools compete side by side, fostering sportsmanship and unity. From the beaches to the mountains, the Atlantic Sun is the destination.
Why am I West? Because of the support and flexibility I found here to make college work for me.
After serving in the Marines, I earned 2 degrees right here at UWG. And now I get to serve the place and the people I love. And that's why I am West.
This is the University of West Georgia.
Back here from the University of West Georgia, and what has been a pretty good game going so far for the Wolves. They hold a 7-point lead, both teams in the bonus. As we start the fourth quarter, and West Georgia has really done an incredible job on offense, changing up the pace. They slowed it down, and then it's paid off. Almost a steal right there out of the hands of Destiny Jones. 9 on the shot clock for West Georgia. They've only got 5 now. Zuriyah Davis holding the ball, has to pull up and shoot, and that one rattles out. Tipped, rebound made by Grace O'Gara. A good tip out by Amanda Blake. Now West Georgia resets. They got a new shot clock, and they'll use it. And that's what I mean by slow down the game. They have certainly taken their time. Zuriyah Davis fakes the pass and gets the floater. What a beautiful play by Zuriyah Davis. Wow.
All started with some nifty moves up top right there, and then getting a tough bucket off the backboard to go.
Faked the shot, stepped in, faked the pass, and got the floater. Now, Florida A&M with a chance to respond. No 3 going there. The first one of the second half on attempts for Florida A&M. Now Sabu Gay tries to go in and get a shot, but that one's taken away, and the shot misses there. And 2 players are down on the court. Boy, what a mix-up. That one was physical down low. Everybody's stealing the ball away from everybody there.
It looked like it was a collision between Destiny Jones and then Sydney Hendricks there. And here's one more look at what might have occurred. Oh, I think they bumped heads, it looked like.
Yeah, it does not look good. A head collision. Both players are up after that play, however, and Destiny Jones is holding that left side of the face, but tough roads coming up for this West Georgia team. They've certainly got their work to do. When she joined the Wolves, she coached at Utah. And a common foul called on number 5 after the head-to-head collision. But the Florida A&M Rattlers will get the ball back. McEvans up top, gives it up. Hendricks, who just had that collision of heads down low, goes for the fadeaway, can't get it to shoot and score. Sabu Gay on the rebound. Trying to get it down low off the knee of a Florida A&M offender, and West Georgia takes it away. Another turnover. Now Zuriyah Davis trying to get to work. Blake gives it up. Ledford can't find the shot. Tries to work around inside. Can't get it off the glass. Rebound made quickly there by Aaliyah Ellis. And an immediate foul. I believe that foul going to be called on Amanda Blake. And McEvans is at the receiving end of that one. And that foul will be charged to, Becca Ledford, who picks up her first personal foul. Sydney Tolbert will check in for her. So much guard play on this Wolves team. Really, anybody can take anybody's place. And another travel called on Florida A&M. My goodness, it's getting out of this world now.
At this point, I mean, we're in the fourth quarter. They're in this game. As you mentioned, the lead is still only 9 for the Wolves. That's very catch up I should say, for Florida A&M, but you know, with the travels like that, my point is you have to really eradicate them at this point. With how much it's had effect on them negatively, it's not helped them out.
A huge block there by McEvans, and a foul called on Grace O'Gara after the missed shot, or the block shot, I should say. But that previous turnover by Florida A&M, the 25th turnover today for them.
They've been leading in the turnovers ever since the outpoint, because remember, we saw the absolute influx of travels that really led to that.
Eve Alexander gets a quick pass and travels down low, number 26, on another travel.
When this game's all said and done, and especially if Florida A&M cannot come back and they end up losing it, that is definitely, it might be an understatement to say, the #1 area they need to improve at.
Well, it's got to be now after double-digit travel calls, possibly over 15 here today. Kenari Holiday can't find the shot, was trapped right there. Sydney Tolbert gets it back up top. Crosses over, gives it up to Zuriyah Davis. Can't find the straight shot. 7 on the shot clock. Has to take the deep three. She does, and does not hit rim, and that will be a shot clock violation.
So it goes back to what we talked about right there. While they did use up the shot clock, it wasn't the most efficient possession.
And a foul was called on the shot. She'll go to the line for 3. Wow, what a bad situation to foul for Florida A&M. They really didn't need to. That was such a rush shot.
No, I mean, like I said, before we found out it was a foul, it's a low percentage shot right there with the shot clock winding down, and it looked like it's going to be charged to Sydney Hendricks.
Sydney Hendricks is charged with a foul, her 3rd personal. Yvette Subarat checks in as Tanaja Purifoy checks out.
So here's one more look at what might happen when you said Hendricks there, number 5, getting on and causing the foul.
It's that lower leg portion that always gets the foul call, as Zuriyah Davis knocks down both free throws so far. She'll have her 3rd coming up here. But certainly not a good foul for that Florida A&M team who just wants to bounce back. Now they sit down 12.
Yeah, 3 free throws right there. And West Georgia, because of that, has this lead up to 12.
Subarats is trapped, gets it through. What a good play by Yvette Subarats. Bounce pass to Eve Alexander, who finishes off the glass.
It was and still is the largest lead for the Wolves, as it was 12, now 10.
They've been maintaining that lead all day today, it feels like, ever since the first quarter. And if not for the rocket start for the Wolves, it might be a different game now. Sydney Tolbert for 3, cannot get it. Rebound will be in the hands of Sabu Gay, but it's taken away by Grace O'Gara. And she steps out of bounds, worked the wrong way, and another turnover gives the ball back to Florida A&M.
Well, I'll tell you what, as she stepped out right there, looked like it could have been a blocking foul called. Coach Joanna Wright certainly thought that might have been the case, but instead, it'll just go as a turnover.
Becca Ledford will check back into the game as Joanna Wright switches out point guards, and we talked about it earlier. Such a depth position at point guard. It's so deep. They've thrown everybody in there up to this point. Florida A&M just trying to keep themselves in this one. West Georgia's so deep, it makes it hard. Having fresh players at every timeout, every dead ball is certainly something to look forward to.
It's very nice when you're able to look to almost all the time when you're passing it to one of your teammates. It's a player that's very capable of scoring from anywhere on the court.
Sabu Gay gets inside and takes way too many steps, but that will be a foul on West Georgia. So as a result of the foul, she did take that extra step, but will be at the line for 2 shots.
This is where Florida A&M, as I touched on a little bit earlier, it's been a bright spot for them, making the most of their trips to the free throw line. It's been a bit of a cold spell as far as shooting fouls just as of late, but now they'll get over 20 attempts from the charity stripe. Here's one more look at the foul called.
Tolbert was in the grill of Sabu Gay right there, which forced the foul call on the floor. She hits the free throw to cut the lead to 9. And is told to tuck in the shorts. 9-point lead now for West Georgia with just over 5.5 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Missed free throw. Good rebound by Hendricks. Tries to go back up. Misses the shot. The second chance opportunity will go to a 3rd chance now as they get the board off the offensive miss. Alexander thought about the shot, didn't take it. Zuriyah Davis now guarding up top against McEvans. Now down low, Hendricks working against Blake. Gets the shot to fall and one for Sydney Hendricks. The leader in scoring so far today with another big shot.
Not only a chance for a three-point play right here, but after the missed second free throw on the previous trip to the line, it's a chance really to make it 4 points worth of one offensive possession.
Checking in now is Hannah Hicks, and checking out will be the aforementioned Amanda Blake, who is charged with that foul. Third personal foul on Blake today. Hendricks can't make the extra point shot. 7-point lead for West Georgia. Just over 5 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Sydney Tolbert with the ball up top. Tolbert still continuing to dribble. Loses it for a moment, gains it back, however, gives it off to Kenari Holiday, who sends it back. 7 on the shot clock. Tolbert is fouled on the way in by McEvans. Cheyenne McEvans charged with another foul. Not happy about that one, but that will be her second personal foul. And a timeout called here. The Wolves sit up 7 in what has been a very good game to watch so far. We'll be back here to finish out the fourth quarter.
At Walt Disney World Resort.
Back here from the University of West Georgia on site at the Coliseum, where West Georgia leads by 7. That one almost taken over by Florida A&M off the back of Sabu Gay, but Grace O'Gara picks it back up. Aggressive defense here for the Rattlers. Fresh out of the timeout, Florida A&M has got to play aggressive as ever to try and get back into this one. They're down 7. Kenari Holiday up top, driving inside, going up with the right, getting the foul. But it's an offensive foul. Offensive foul called on Kenari Holiday, and celebrating on the ground after that one is Yvette Zubarats.
Yeah, for the moment there it was looking like 2 extra points on the board, not just for the Wolves, but also Holiday's leisure, but it gets taken off going back the other way.
One of the few offensive fouls called on the Wolves here today. They started the first half off with a couple of those, but another one in the fourth quarter. Pull-up shot, no good. Kenari Holiday with the rebound. Now West Georgia with a chance to try and get those 2 points back that they lost on that offensive foul. Grace O'Gara up top, the transfer from Auburn Montgomery working. Averaged 22.5 with the Warhawks in the postseason. Shot clock dwindling down, what the West Georgia Wolves have done all day today. 4 on the shot clock. Deep 3 from Zuriyah Davis. Nothing but net. Zuriyah Davis, you betcha. She's got herself another 3-pointer.
5 for 14 from the field, and her 15 points of the day. That's the best on either side.
A lot of shots. Gay goes in and can't get it with the right hand. Going back up and not getting it herself is Hendricks. Kenari Holiday, another rebound. West Georgia's trying to work quick here after the 3. They're up 10. O'Gara loses her balance going inside, and a whistle is blown. A foul called on the Rattlers. And that foul will be on number 5, Sydney Hendricks. Her 4th personal foul. First Rattler in foul trouble here today.
Yeah, no other Rattler has, well, just one Rattler has 3 fouls. That's Griffin, but Sydney Hendricks has been picking them up lately here. And like you said, first Rattler in foul trouble. One more look at it.
Long 3. And boy, that shooting ability from Zuriyah Davis comes up. When she gets hot, she gets hot.
And the added bonus of using all the shot clock right there, too, and then still able to add 3 points on.
Grace O'Gara misses both shots at the line. An opportunity for West Georgia squandered right there. They still sit up 10, however. Sabu Gay up top, going to be guarded close by O'Gara. Inside, right hand, gets the floater to go.
And while Zuriyah Davis leads the way for the Wolves, Sabu Gay doing it for the Rattlers with her 16th points of the day.
16 points, not something to blink at. Certainly a very quick scorer. Immediately drops to the basket every time she gets that rock. Grace O'Gara now slowing it down for West Georgia. 8 on the shot clock. Bounce pass, trying to get it down low to Kanari Holiday, but a foul, a whistle blown. And we'll see Florida A&M on the receiving end of that foul.
Might be on Hendricks once more. Now she has 5 fouls.
5 fouls, 1 more, and she's out of here.
That's all about trying to fight against the leverage of Kanari Holiday, and sometimes you'll get into those fouls, but no player needs it less than Sydney Hendricks, and as expected, she'll have to check out here while in deep foul trouble.
Late in the game like this, you can't lose a star player like Hendricks, so they have to forcefully take her out. Kanari Holiday is subbed out on the other side for Hannah Hicks. Long pass taken away. Subarats gets it down low to Gay. Sabu Gay can't make the shot. Put back up by McEvans. Cheyenne McEvans, the SWAC newcomer of the week, gets the bucket there. Cuts the lead to 6, and a foul called with just over 2 minutes to go on Sabu Gay.
Yeah, it happened right in front of us right there, just working down the near side. Sabu Gay trying to reach in, but gets the call.
Grace O'Gara to the Northwest free throw line, shooting 2.
2 shots coming up for Grace O'Gara. Last time up, she felt with an offer on the trip, but she makes the first one there. O'Gara on the second shot, gets it to go. The transfer from Auburn Montgomery with another point.
Fishing from the line today, despite missing 2, she's still 7 for 10.
7 points on the day as well, all 7. Becca Ledford on the fast break. Finger roll, gets it to go. 10-point lead for West Georgia. Now Florida A&M on the attack. FAMU trying to put together something for a comeback. A 3-ball there from Yvette Zubarats cannot go. Floater doesn't go for Glover. Now back in the hands of McEvans. And that will be a jump ball, but it will be in favor of the Rattlers. A substitution coming in. Sydney Tolbert checks in for Becca Ledford.
Well, the defensive tenacity on display down low there for the Wolves, despite the Rattlers getting some second chance opportunities.
Sydney Tolbert, the sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky, checks in. Long pass taken away. Destiny Jones takes it away for West Georgia. Fast break. Zuriyah Davis, pump fake shot. Will not go. Rebound goes to Hannah Hicks. Backs it out to Grace O'Gara. And Joanna Wright says slow down.
At this point, with just over a minute to go, that's what they need. With this 10-point lead, use the shot clock. We're going to see players really sprint to the ball here, though, for it.
Double team, and it works to the advantage of the Rattlers. A block right there by Sabu Gay. Quick transition. McEvans gets the 3-ball. Cheyenne McEvans with the 3 to cut the lead to 7.
In my warrior tasks and drills.
I am American soldier.
Back here from the Coliseum after the fresh media timeout. West Georgia trying to stay up top here, up by 7. And they collect a foul on Florida A&M right there as Hannah Hicks checks out and Kanari Holiday checks in after the timeout.
Well, Florida A&M kind of got what they wanted on the inbound right there, forcing Sydney Tolbert into the corner. And right now they're going to need West Georgia to miss some free throws here. Still on the outskirts of contention with just under a minute to go after that big 3-pointer from Cheyenne McEvans.
Sydney Tolbert will go to the line. The sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky will have 2 shots. Tolbert was a reliable backup point guard for the Wolves last year at the Division II level. She bumps it up to the Division I level and has looked just as good. 2 free throws, 2 for 2, a perfect trip for the line for Sydney Tolbert. Long pass, they've got to work quick. The Rattlers crossover inside. Gay gets the shot to go. Sabu Gay doing it how they needed to and worked quick to get those points. Got to cross the half-court line. A trap here. And a foul called on Florida A&M. not what you want in that type of situation. Yvette Subarats charged with that foul.
Yeah, they were so close right there that if it was not going to be just getting the turnover straight up, they were going to force West Georgia to not cross half court in time. But, man, that's a tough foul. Boy, they really had an opportunity right there.
Was not a foul to give, and Grace O'Gara is going to take that opportunity with some bliss, as that was a little bit of contact by Subarats. A good job by Grace O'Gara to sell it a little bit and pick up the foul. She has a perfect line on that trip. 2 for 2. Now battling back is the Rattlers. They sit down 9. They've got to work quick. McEvans tries to get the shot. Rebound by Kenari Holiday. Or excuse me, that one's Destiny Jones.
They're not going to look to shoot the ball right here. Use up the shot clock, which is off. So just try to play out the time.
That's what they're going to try and do. O'Gara working to that advantage. Tolbert is fouled by McEvans. Cheyenne McEvans fouls again. And more free throws coming up here for West Georgia.
And I'm surprised. Well, it did take me a moment there to realize the shot clock's no longer on. With Florida A&M down 9, they were letting West Georgia possess a little bit longer than I thought they would. I thought they'd be quick to the ball, forcing a foul.
63-54, make that 64-54. A 10-point lead for West Georgia after Sydney Tolbert hits the free throw.
They were quick to the ball, but they allowed West Georgia to chew off multiple seconds of time, and it doesn't matter because Perfect from the line once again. This game is out of reach at this point.
11 points, not how you wanted to do it there. A lot of seconds shaved off after that mishap. The tip out of bounds. Eve Alexander was not the last one to touch it. Or yes, she was. Eve Alexander, the last one to touch it there. West Georgia trying to work up the court, trying to run that clock. And history from Carrollton. West Georgia